welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be answering your questions and queries about going sober and staying sober. So I asked questions over on the Dry app and also on my Instagram and Facebook, so thank you so much for asking questions. Today's just a chance for you to kind of anonymously ask questions that maybe you are too scared to ask to someone that's actively sober, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to give you some good answers to help you on your journey. So let's get straight into it. Okay, I've got quite a lot of questions, a mixture of like agony aunt style and just general questions, so I'm just going to kind of go through them in no particular order. How do you deal with the peer pressure to drink? So this is a difficult one for me to answer, purely because I, since going sober, haven't really had that peer pressure. So I previously tried to get sober when I was 22, and I didn't really tell anyone. I just kept it to myself and kind of was like cutting down and moderating. And because of that, I then gave in to peer pressure. But since I've been sober, like this time, like official recovery time, I've been really honest from day one. So like, people know that I'm not drinking. You know, I might get the odd question of like, oh, are you still not drinking? But generally speaking, if that question comes up, I shut it down pretty quickly. You know, for me, I don't really put myself in situations where that question will come up. I've actually got like my work Christmas party coming up, so maybe that will happen. But I think with that question, like of can you just have one, or why don't you drink, you know, it's your truth, so you don't have to outright tell someone your reasons, but you have to stick to your truth and you have to be really honest and just say, no, I'm not drinking, or no, I don't drink, and feel validated in that answer. Like it's your decision. It's a perfectly valid decision. You know, if you was gluten free, no one's going to be like, oh, go on, have a little bit of bread. Like it is just society that makes us think we can't be sober. But if you're happy being sober, then that's all that matters. Okay, question number 2. How do you deal with a negative reaction from going sober? So I unfortunately did have negative reactions from some people when I went sober, and at first I was really hurt by it, because in my head, and I think my friends and family that are still my friends and family would agree, I'm a much nicer person now that I'm sober. So it almost felt like more of a judge of character by someone saying like, I don't want to be your friend anymore because you're sober. But now I just think that's a reflection on them. You know, you often find that people want to be around people that are similar to them, and they don't want to be around people that are going to prevent them from doing what they want to do. You know, for instance, like I don't really want to go clubbing anymore. You know, if I was going to go to a clubbing style place, I'd probably go to a sober event. So I get it, and I think there's also a lot of like, you know, some people are meant for you forever. I think my mum always says some people come to you for a lesson or a lifetime, and that really resonates with me. You know, people that I have lost since going sober, I've gained so many new people, that it doesn't really feel like a loss. You know, I know who I am more now than I ever did. So if someone doesn't like that, I'm okay with that. So I think if you're struggling with people being negative, you know, you need to kind of look at their relationships a little bit and determine whether they're actually bringing anything positive to your life. Are you clinging on to them just because they're friends for a long time, or just because they're family? You know, you can have people in your life, but you don't have to be fully in it as much. Yeah, I think you just have to remember that you're doing this for you, and no one else really matters, because you're going to be the best version of you, who will in turn be the best version for everyone else. Number 3, how do you have spontaneous sober fun? It's a difficult question because I'm not naturally a very spontaneous person. I am a planner. But I think for me, to answer this question, I think you need to get to know what you find fun. You know, historically, spontaneous fun was probably just let's go to the pub, let's go out tonight, you know, let's go for Thirsty Thursdays after work, which is very spontaneous and very easy. But there's a lot of other easy, fun things you can do, you know, like on the weekend, let's just go to a new nature reserve and go for a nice fresh walk. You know, if you've got pets, I mean, round by me, there's a dog cafe. You don't have to pre-book or anything like that. So there is fun ways to be spontaneous, but you need to learn what you consider fun in order to make it spontaneous. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, you know, try a lot of things. I mean, in my first couple of months of sobriety, I wanted to try everything. There's still quite a few things I still really want to do, actually. But yeah, I think just give things a go, and that's pretty spontaneous. If it doesn't work out, then try something new. Maybe make a bucket list of things you want to give a go, and then just pull them out of the hat every Sunday and just go for it. Do you think alcohol affected your mental health? Yes, massively. Alcohol is a depressant, and it's also an addictive substance. And, you know, the more you get addicted to something, the more of them effects you get. So for me, I was at my lowest when my drinking was my heaviest, and that isn't a coincidence. You know, drink would, I don't want to blame drink because it was me, but by me choosing to drink, the after effects of them decisions were not decisions I would make when I was sober. So not only would, you know, I'd be physically ill after drinking and, you know, have headaches and hot and cold sweats, you know, all the symptoms of a hangover, I would also have blackouts, and I wouldn't be able to remember the things I'd done, the things I've said, which, you know, I'm already suffering with depression and anxiety, but because I'm then going out and causing more chaos, I'm then adding to that anxiety of, what did I say last night? What did I do? And then that depression of, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my friends, I'm going to lose all my family, I've got no money because I spent it on alcohol. It's completely linked, you know. And if you are someone that is struggling with your mental health, go sober for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and see if you notice a difference, because I will be shocked if you don't. You know, that first month of me going sober, I slept a lot and my body was healing. But by month 2, it was like, they called it the pink cloud. And it was like all of that heavy layer had started to break away. You know, I'm not saying you stop drinking, it will cure your mental health. I've had therapy, I also take medication, but it will surely give you a fighting chance. You know, I would not be as happy as I am today if I was still out drinking every weekend. I know that for sure. Next question. Are you still close to your pre-sober friends? So yes and no. So the people that stuck with me, I am closer to them now than I ever was when I was drinking. The relationships that I have built upon is next level. You know, like my best friend has been there with me through everything. Like we've been best friends since we were 16 years old, but now it's like I always knew best friends forever, but like helping someone go through what I've been through and not abandoning them, like you'll never get, like that's like an unbreakable bond, you know. And the same with my family, like my mum, my brother, my sister-in-law, obviously my boyfriend, but you know, all of these people, as much as they loved me before, the love they have for me now is also reciprocated, because before I didn't love myself, so I couldn't love them. You know, the attention to detail of me caring about them, I have time and space and energy for other people, not just myself anymore. So yeah, but on the flip side of that, I have lost friends because, you know, they don't want to be around someone that is sober, and that's fine with me. You know, a lot of the friends that I have lost, I have no bad air, because I think, you know, I'm the sort of person, I'll always be there for people. If someone needs me, I will always be there for them. But I completely respect that if someone doesn't agree with your lifestyle choices, they're going to want to make you not so much in their life, and that's fine by me. So yeah, on that note, yes, I have lost friends, but I'm completely fine with it, and the friends that I still have are beyond anything I could ever imagine as friendships and family members and loved ones. Okay. Have you made new friends? So sticking with the friends questions, yes, I have made tons of new friends. And the friendships I make now are so much more meaningful. You know, a lot of friends I have met and made friends through being sober, so that's like our connection. Some of them are in the fellowship that I attend, some of them are in the online sober community, but everyone that I have met since being sober, I've loved, because I think you are what you attract. And I'm the strong believer of, you know, if you put out positive energy will come back to you, and vice versa. So yeah, I mean, some of the people I've met in my fellowship are people that will be at my wedding, probably at each other's funerals. Like the level of bond is something else, because, you know, especially in a fellowship, you completely get each other's minds, and you're each other's lifeline. You know, if something happens, they're the people that you call, because then there's no judgment. So yeah, making new friends. At the beginning, I didn't think that would be possible, but when you start reaching out to people in the sober community, everyone will welcome you with open arms. It's the least judgmental place ever. I don't feel like I have anything in common with my friends now that I don't drink. Help. This is a really tough one, because, you know, I'm at a stage in my sobriety where I have no fear of removing things if they aren't serving me. But I get it if they're like your only friends and now you've not got anything in common with them because the only thing you had in common was drink. I would say, you know, you have made this lifestyle change, so the responsibility is on you a little bit to kind of find other things. You know, I think if you suggest other things, if you organise other things, you know, make it easy, make it just as easy for them to come to an activity than it would be for you guys to meet down the pub. Or, you know, have people around for games night if you're not going out to pubs but you drink inside. There's so many things you can do, and a lot of the time people have only got to do something once to think, actually this is fun, this is a good idea. So, you know, if these are friends that you feel you don't have much in common with them but you have had in the past that maybe wasn't drink related, tap into that, but equally be prepared that they may not be friends that you're going to have forever, and that's okay. So yeah, make the effort. If it's reciprocated, then amazing. If it isn't, then you can, you know, you've not left that stone unturned. Do you feel like you are missing out? Absolutely not. It's funny, I watch, obviously, like, I've got friends that still go out drinking, and I have like people I follow on Instagram that still go out drinking, and I watch their stories sometimes and I just think, God, I'm so glad I don't do that anymore. When we went to the N-Dubs concert the other night, we was queuing up at the bar. For some reason, the sober girl said she'd get the first round in. Hello. Maybe don't put your bum at the camera. Sit down. Yeah, so there was a girl behind me and she was mangled. I mean, probably having the night of her life. Thanks. Probably having the night of her life, but you know, it was 6:30. She'd already done 2 gin and tonics. She was asking her friends to get a bottle of wine and Jaeger bombs. And I just thought, that would be me. And I wouldn't have enjoyed the concert. I wouldn't have been able to get home safely. Obviously, I drove to the concert. You know, I would have spent a fortune. Like, I don't miss it at all. But I think because when I got sober, I found other things to entertain me, that I feel like I'm not missing out on something because I've chosen to remove that activity and add it with another, if that makes sense. Like, if I wanted to go out dancing, for example, I probably wouldn't go to a mainstream bar or a mainstream club. Like, I would go to a sober event where I know that there's, you know, really good music, really good people, but there is no drunken people. There's no people out of their face that are gonna potentially cause fights or whatever else. You know, that's really difficult for me still when I go out to these places. You know, I'm not great in crowds, but crowds of drunk people, like, I just feel like it's a danger zone. Not because I'm tempted to drink, I just don't want to be around people when it gets to 12 o'clock and everyone's kicking off, because unfortunately, like, if you've stayed in the club long enough, you've seen it happen. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. I love being at home. I love spending time with my family and my friends. You know, I enjoy my life in the daytime now, that I don't crave the nighttime anymore, if that makes sense. Okay, how can you have fun sober? So many ways you can have fun sober. So, like I said in one of the previous questions, you've got to work out what you think is fun. You know, what I think fun, you might think is really boring. I'm really lucky that where I live, I'm based in Essex and I'm like 10 minutes from Lakeside. There's like every possible version of fun you could think of. There's restaurants, there's trampoline park, there's a boom battle bar, which has got like, what has it got in there? It's got loads of different activities that are like physical, like axe throwing, there's mini golf, there's hiking, rock climbing. So the only way you're going to have fun is if you go out and try new things. You know, they just literally Google things to do that don't involve alcohol and you will have hundreds of pages of ideas. You know, maybe you're a foodie and you like going out and trying new menus. Get onto Woucher and get yourself like the taster menus and stuff like that. You know, maybe you'll get more into cooking and you can go on to like one day cooking courses or get cooking books. There is so much you can do. You know, you've gone from losing so much of your week by being drunk or hungover. You've got so much more time to like find hobbies, find ways to de-stress and have fun. And if you don't like something, you just don't do it again. So just give it all a go. You know, when I first got sober, I fell back in love with reading. You know, that may not be your thing. You might prefer audiobooks, you might prefer movies, you know, you might love going to the cinema. Well, go and do it. If that is your fun, don't let anyone tell you that isn't fun. I don't think going to the pub and listening to people talk about their lives and moan about their lives is fun. So I don't do it. You know, if something isn't fun sober, adding alcohol to enjoy it, there's a problem there. There is a problem there. Okay. Next one's a little bit deep. How do you know if you have a problem with drinking? So I can only speak from my personal experience. For me, I never knew when to stop. I never wanted to just have a glass and go to bed. Very rarely did that happen. For me, it was always, I can't wait to get drunk. I can't wait to get absolutely smashed. You know, my goal when going out was always to get paralytic. There was no in between for me. So that's a problem. I think for me, if you are going out a lot and you know, you're intending to say, I'm only coming for one, and that isn't happening repeatedly. If, you know, you're going out and you can't remember your nights out, if you're going out and you're overspending, you know, if you're not able to stick to budgets, if going out and drinking is affecting your sober life, then maybe you do have a problem. You know, it might not be that you're an alcoholic. It might be that you've got something going on at the moment that you're not dealing with emotionally, and you're using that to deal with your emotions. And once you've, you know, dealt with the problem in your sober life, you maybe have to go and have one or two and feel fine. Not everyone that stops drinking is an alcoholic. You know, some people do it just for the health benefits. Some people do it because they just don't like the taste. So yeah, I think if you're thinking you've got a problem with drinking, pick apart why you might think that. You know, why do you drink? And, you know, if you ever want to have more of a one-to-one talk, my DMs are always open. But equally, it's okay if you're admitting you have a problem with drinking. You know, there's so much help out there. And if you're going to try and get sober, then good luck to you. I'm sure you'll be amazing. Do you wish you could drink again? This is really difficult because for me, yes, I do wish I could drink normally and safely, but I know I can't. So like, do I wish I could never drink again is kind of a redundant question, because safely I know I can't. Like physically, yeah, I could go and drink a whole bottle of vodka now, like watch me. But like for me, unless I was born and reincarnated with someone that doesn't have that allergy and that compulsiveness, then no, you know. For me, I don't associate drinking now with the good times. Like I associate drinking with how low I got, and I don't ever want to feel that way again. So if it means me not drinking ever again, but I'll never feel that low again, I'm so at peace with that. Like my life is so much more fulfilled now that I don't feel that I would be better off if I was drinking. I'm definitely better off now. So I guess I don't wish I could drink, to be honest. Okay, will you never drink again? No. You know, for me, I have absolutely no desire to drink. I have no reason to drink. You know, I'm quite a logical person, but I'm also, you know, a bit of a fantasist. But for me, the logical person of me says, from all of your history, it's never ended well. And the fantastical person of me says, I want to achieve all of these things in life. So that's when the logic comes in and says, well, you're probably not going to get this if you keep going back to this. So no, I genuinely, hand on heart, don't think I will ever drink again. I mean, I hope I don't. You know, there is always a fear of relapse, but for me, as long as I'm working my program and doing what I'm meant to be doing, then I have no reason to want to drink again. I have no desire to drink again. So hopefully it will never happen. What is AA really like? So if you don't know, I've been quite open that I do attend AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I go to about 3 meetings a week. I have my regular meetings where I help with the meetings as well. So obviously I'm not going to talk about other people's stories. You know, I'm only going to kind of talk about my experience. So before going to AA, I really thought that AA was going to be for, you know, real alcoholics, you know, people that drink every day, people that are homeless, that they've lost their job, they've lost their kids, they've lost their house. I didn't think I was a big enough drinker to warrant a seat at Alcoholics Anonymous, which I now know isn't true. The only kind of mantra for AA is to have the desire to stop drinking. Whether that's you've had one drink and you didn't like it, or you've been drinking for 60 years and your drinking career is out of control. You know, when I first went to AA, I was just over a month sober and I was really, really lonely. I really felt like no one around me got it. You know, not for their lack of trying, but I just felt like I needed to be around people that were experiencing this same path that I was on. And my first meeting was in a church hall. A lot of them are in church halls or random halls, and some of them you do sit in a circle, some of them you don't. I was greeted by really friendly faces, a mixture of men and women, a mixture of ages. I was the youngest at that particular meeting, but I'm not the youngest person I've met in AA. And it was a really safe space. You know, I think there's this stigma around AA that it's going to be a room full of older men that are moaning about their wives, and it's just a really negative atmosphere. And it's actually quite the opposite. You know, there's a complete mixture of ages, there's a complete mixture of sexes, races, people from all over the world going into AA meetings. Obviously you have your regular meetings that you go to, but like when I travel for work, I'll go to an AA meeting up in Leeds, and you know, it is such a piece of heaven on earth for me, because I know I can go to their meetings and I can literally clear my head, say what I need to say, get it off my chest, and know that there'll be someone there to support me. It's a place where we share stories to help each other. So often at meetings there'll be one person that shares their journey, from active addiction or active alcoholism all the way through to current recovery, and we learn from the similarities, not the differences. So, you know, if you ever do go into an AA meeting, there might be things that you hear that you think, oh, well, I haven't done that, I'm not that bad. Alcoholism and addiction is a progressive illness. So if you hear something that hasn't happened to you, take it as a not yet. And yeah, it saved my life. You know, if you're thinking AA might not be for you, but you want some help, give it a go. You know, I've tried a lot of meetings. It's a bit like dating. Some meetings I really enjoyed, some meetings, you know, I haven't gone back to. There's nothing wrong with the meeting, there's nothing wrong with the people at the meeting, but just for me, either the time didn't work or the location was hard to park at, you know, little things. And for me, I need to know that I need to have regularity of my meetings, and I need to know that they're easy to get to, easy to park at, and I feel content with how far away I am from my house. So you've got to find out what works for you. I've heard people say that they don't like to go to meetings in their local area because they don't want to bump into another. Like, no, I completely get that. You know, go a bit further afield. There's also Zoom meetings as well. So if you don't even want to leave your house, or you're unable to leave your house, you can join meetings online. But it isn't what you see on the films. Honestly, it isn't. So sticking with AA questions, Do you think AA is the only way to stay sober, as I don't like the group near me and I'm worried I might know someone? I don't think AA is the only way to stay sober. I think your recovery journey is really, really personal. And you've got to do what works for you. You know, I've spoke to many people in the Instagram community that went to AA and they didn't like it. You know, it wasn't for them, and I completely respect that. For me, it was a simple program and full of friendly people, and it worked. But I completely understand your worry of not wanting to kind of see people that you might know. So maybe try and meet in slightly further afield. But it's funny, once you're kind of in AA and you're around for a little bit, you eventually do find people that you know that maybe you went to school with, or was your old neighbour, or like your nan's friend or something, you know. Especially, I think, in Essex, everyone knows everyone, so it's very hard to go anywhere in Essex and not know someone. And actually, there can be a sense of comfort in that, you know, knowing that the path you've been on, someone else has been on it too, and you were kind of in touch and distance of each other. It's a weird one, but yeah, just do what feels right for you. There's lots of options out there. Don't let not wanting to go to AA affect your recovery. Okay, I am going to finish on this last question. What are you most proud of since going sober? There's a lot of things, but I think what I am most proud of is my ability to help other young women. Since getting really honest on my Instagram, since creating my YouTube channel, I have had numerous conversations with people in a similar situation to me, similar age to me, and it is amazing to know that I am that person they can talk to, that person that they can feel they can have a safe space with, you know, because I've been there, and it's terrifying when you're in that dark place. And, you know, if my Instagram or my YouTube, just me whittling on about how I'm feeling, you know, being really honest, if that helps someone feel normal, then I'm proud of that. You know, I'm so thankful for the life that I have been given, the second chance at life I've been given through going sober, that I will continue to talk about it, because I think there's so many people out there that are still in active addiction, and you know, they're really, really struggling, and there is still a massive stigma attached to it, and there is a massive stigma for women. You know, there's a stigma for men as well, but I think women are meant to be able to have a few glasses of wine and keep it classy, and for a lot of us that just isn't our story, and that's okay, you know. So yeah, I'm most proud of the fact that me being as sober as I am, I'm able to help other people get there too. So I am really, really happy that I got a chance to do this. Let me know if you want to see something like this again, if you've got more questions. I am an honest girl, as I've said about 100 times in this video, and I'm an open book. You know, if my story helps one of you, then I've done something right today. Thank you so much for watching. The Christmas decorations are slowly coming out. I am on our new sofa. So this weekend we're putting our Christmas tree up. So on Tuesday's video you will see Get Ready for Christmas with Us, which I'm so excited about. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you soon for another video.